Hi, and welcome to Chess Talk. My name is Johnny Cockay, and it's a pleasure, as always, to welcome to our school here in CES Edinburgh. And it's a really exciting talk for you today because it's slightly different to normal. In the past, we've always given you a bit of a lecture about something to do with British culture. But today's talk is a little bit more personal, as we're taking you inside the mind of our CS Leeds principal, Robert Tuck. As always, if you're interested in seeing any of the previous chess talks we've run, they're all available on our YouTube page, and you can also access them on our Instagram page as well. Alternatively, if you don't have access to either of those facilities, please send an email to info@ces-schools.com and we'll be able to send you a link to all the talks on our Dropbox account. So, with that being said, I'm going to start today's presentation for you. We're going to play you a video, and this video will give you the chance to really get inside the mind of Rob. So what I just need to do is find out where it has gone and find out if I can share it with you. At the end of the talk, we will be doing a Q&A session. So if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to ask them, and Rob will be delighted to talk to you about them. Just had to very quickly change one of the formats. There we go, that's what I wanted. Excellent. So this is Rob, and I'm going to put you across to him just now.
What I talk about when I talk about running. Hello and good morning and welcome to this week's CES Talk. My name is Robert and today I'm going to take you for a run and I'm going to talk about what to talk about when I talk about running. So without further ado, shall we start? Running is supposed to be good for your health. I don't do it because it's supposedly healthy. I do it because I like it. I've always liked it. At school, I was useless at sports. I was a skinny kid who always got picked last for football team or cricket team by the cool, sporty boys. But like Forrest Gump, I too thought I could run like the wind blows. And I got my revenge once a year when the weather obliged everyone to do a dreaded cross-country run. Those days are over now. But I'm still progressing. I can look forward to progressively slower running. But it doesn't matter. The enjoyment is still there, even if the speed isn't. I've been running regularly for nearly 40 years on and off. My youth was misspent at county level athletics. That consumed me completely. But it put me on the straight and narrow in my difficult teenage years. Running definitely led me away from temptation and delivered me from evil. I picked it up again in my mid-20s when I lived abroad, and it helped me make friends and integrate. In Spain, I ran for a local athletic club, Atlético San Sebastián. And in Portugal, I even managed to get into the Benfica cross-country team for one season. You often hear that sport is a great medium to make friends, and it is true. I look back on those days, my friends I had very fondly. Although I never really stopped running, I ran less in my 30s. In those days, I managed weekly outings with the Hash House Harriers. That is, for the uninitiated, a drinking club with a running problem. And again, sport merged with social life and helped me get through living in Asia. I picked up the habit again in my late 40s after returning home. Park runs are fantastic. A weekend without a park run seems empty and wasted. Running is cheap and convenient. You can go anytime, anywhere, alone or with someone. I always pack my trainers whenever I travel. When I am away over a weekend, I always seek out the nearest park run. Distance running is all about pace. Simply said, you have to run as fast as you can from A to B without getting completely exhausted before arriving at B. That's it really, in a nutshell. So it's all about pacing yourself. and knowing yourself. Your body gets to know the rhythm. It doesn't sound much, but a change of pace as little as 10 seconds per kilometre is really noticeable. It's related to VO2 max, how much oxygen you can use per kilogram of body weight per minute. Apparently, you lose about 1% of VO2 max every year after the age of 30. It is also related to your weight, of course. This is consistent with my experience and my racing times. Despite this, and creaky joints and aches and pains, I don't want to throw in the towel just yet. I still harbour some personal, relatively modest goals. I'd like to dip under 19 minutes in the next parkrun. I ought to be able to do it after all the miles I've done since lockdown. I'll keep training and dream on. Success at running depends how prepared you are to suffer, really. Murakami, a Japanese novelist and avid runner, once said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." Indeed, the great Emil Zatopek said, "It's at the borders of pain and suffering that the men are separated from the boys." We know pain is bad, but in the absence of pain, it is hard to imagine what it feels like. It creeps up on you during a race. Then you have to endure it and count the minutes down until the finish line. After the race, the pain has gone again and you can't recall it. But remember and spare a thought for the guys who finish at the back of the race.
Whatever their level, the guys who finish last suffer the most. Am I a masochist? Possibly. But like anything, you get out what you put in. Running should be seen less as a virtue and more as a vice. You don't need discipline to run regularly. When you are hooked, you need discipline not to run. After a shower, I have never ever regretted a run in my life. I get my endorphin high. I have my fix. And I'm a jollier and nicer husband, father and colleague. Until the next day, when the restlessness returns and I need my next fix. Running is my drug. Running is my stimulant and my sedative. When I'm feeling low and without energy, running lifts me and energizes me. When I'm stressed about something, running relaxes me. Murakami said, "The thoughts that occur to me while I am running are like clouds in the sky. Clouds of all different sizes. They come and they go, while the sky remains the same sky always. The clouds are mere guests in the sky that pass away and vanish, leaving behind the sky." Running gives me time to think things through. You find yourself reflecting on problems or planning your work. But at a deeper level, at a deeper subconscious level, there is something else going on. Running is like brainwashing. Not in the normal sense of the word, more it seems to wash and deep clean the mind. On occasions, you get a second wind, a heightened level of homeostasis when running is effortless and painless. A perfect run. A transcendental and deeply meditative experience. I run, therefore I am. This lush forest, the sweet petrichor of the damp soil, the rustle of the breeze in the trees, the dancing sunbeams through the bright green leaves above, all exist for me because I perceive them. If I drop dead now of a heart attack, I can only think of one better way to go, actually. And I was plunged into holy darkness, then none of this would exist for me. In other words, if a tree falls down in this forest and I am not here to hear it, then it doesn't make a noise.
There we are, back to beginning again. I hope you enjoyed the run as much as I did. Now I'm back home for a shower and a late Sunday breakfast. Thanks for tuning in. See ya. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope that was interesting. I'm ready for any questions. Over to you, Johnny. Thank you.
Hi, Rob. Thank you very much. Now, Rob, I've made you co-host, so hopefully we're going to be able to see you in the video very soon. What I want to say, we've had a lot of different subjects on these chess talks over the 18, 19 weeks that we've had lockdown in the UK. And that is certainly one of the most unique talks we've had. And certainly I would say one of the most personal. So thank you very much. I thought it was fascinating to hear. And I suppose the first question we need to ask, first and foremost, before I go to one from the crowd, that took you 23 minutes. How long were you running for?
23 minutes. I filmed it straight off. I just filmed it with my camera on my rucksack wearing it in front, and I just straight off.
You mentioned park runs during that. So was that a park run you were on?
No, it's the park's near my house, but it's just one of my favourite little runs near my house.
Okay, excellent. So you've given us a bit of history about your running. You said you got into school originally. Can you tell us a little bit more?
There's not much to say, Johnny. You know, it's just I was one of those sort of skinny kids that was useless at ball sports, and I wasn't very cool. And in the class, in the year, there was always the lads that were super cool, good at football and all that, you know, in the football team, and I was just hopeless. And on the rare occasions we had to do something like running, I just did okay. So it's just one of those things, I think.
And when you went abroad, when you went to Spain, you went to China, I think you said, how did you get involved in local clubs?
Well, you know, I was in Spain, I was out running and I saw a bunch of lads on the other side of the river running, and I thought they seem to be ticking along quite well. I'll go over and chat to them. So I crossed over, and they were a local running club, and went off and did some sessions, and there's a race coming up, and they asked me to join. I said okay. And Portugal was similar, I suppose. You know, you're out running, you see somebody across the road who's running, and you think, oh, that person is not just a jogger. They're going somewhere. They're in a club. They've got perhaps a club shirt on or something. But, oh, you know, I'll just go and say hello. And,
you need to be quick enough to catch them, though.
Hobbies. People sort of find each other with hobbies and things.
I think it's quite interesting that we think of running in particular maybe as a solo activity, but there you are talking about it being a social thing, being able to become part of a community. And I suppose sport in general is a great way of becoming part of a new community when you move to a new area?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I remember I moved to Italy several years ago, and I spoke zero Italian. And the way I had of integrating was actually to join the local rugby club.
That's it.
Certainly something that you're based in Leeds. If students came to you and asked about local sports clubs, is that something you could give them advice on?
Well, I can give them advice about running clubs and park runs, and I do. You know, sometimes we get students come through and they're runners and they want to. I say, look, you know, I'll meet you at this park run on Saturday morning or something. So you can, when it comes to other sports, there are other students, so other members of staff that play, you know, ball sports and stuff. They you know, but I think it's harder to join. In some respects, it's probably harder to join a ball sport team. If you're a foreigner and you're just passing through, to suddenly sort of find yourself in a football team and training on a regular basis is quite difficult. And there was a Japanese boy here 4 or 5 years ago who did very well and did integrate and joined a local football team and played every weekend. But I think it's quite difficult. Whereas running is a lonely sport, but it's easy to drop in and out. You know, you just find a group and you run with them, and there's a race, you go to the race. You know, in some respects, it's far more fluid.
We're very lucky. We're actually joined today by quite a lot of people from China. And I was wondering, if they were coming to visit the UK, where are the best spots to go running? Where would you recommend to go for a run?
Well, woodlands. Woodlands is great. Run through woods, especially springtime. The moors in the summer, along a beach. Some nature. Again, perhaps it's my own personal preference, but to get out and run across the field and get away from it all.
And is there any advice you give to someone who said, I want to take up running? What would be the most important piece of advice you could give someone?
Get some decent shoes. That's the first thing. And then don't worry about how fast or slow you go. It's because it's a sport for everyone. And as I said in the video, I know just from park runs, the guys that finish at the back have suffered so much and for so long, a lot more than the guys that, you know, go around in 15 minutes. So, you know, it's about, you know, and hope it's about, it's an individual development, if you like, and something that people of all ages and body types can get into.
Okay, excellent. Now, you and I've been fortunate. I've gone on a run with you when you were up here in Edinburgh, and we went around Edinburgh's volcano.
Johnny, you thrashed me.
It's not a race; it's a run. It's not a race; it's a run. And it's just that I'm looking forward to the next AGM we have. It's something that I found as a part of the CS family. Whenever we've gone to one of the AGMs, there's always been a group of us that have got together and gone for a run, whether that's the seafront in Worthing, whether it's round a volcano, or whether it's even through the cobbled streets of Dublin. And I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to do that with you. And it's been an absolute pleasure to listen to your thoughts and your experiences through that video.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, Rob, this was also a special chess talk because it's our penultimate chess talk, I believe. We've only got one left, and that's next week when we've got our London principal, David Morgan. And he's been looking through the history of music with us, starting from the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. Next week, he's going to finish off with the noughties and also look at a bit of the culture, and I'm not so sure if it's going to be some politics along there as well. So I know you and I will definitely be there. Hopefully our friends from BAP will be there as well. And hopefully everyone else who's joined us on today's Chess Talk will be there next week as well. But from myself in Edinburgh and from Rob down in Leeds, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Equally. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.